my bag now, in my bag now. What the fuck is that? What's up? It's sign time. We've been got an Arcane Odyssey video, baby. Now it's been a minute. I've done an Arcane Odyssey video. This ain't gonna be like the last one where I was showcasing the Night Awakening, which was like a year or two ago, right? Something like that. Listen. We're gonna be talking about content upcoming because I have major plans when that Empire update release. And if you like cool designs, drip, stuff like that, concepts, you're gonna love this. You're gonna want to stay tuned. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Before we really get into the topic of the video, as I will be doing certain categories of this and speculations, make sure you send clips and like just videos and stuff of like crazy stuff that's happened to you in Arcane Odyssey to my Discord, because I will be making a video where it's like a compilation of your clips. And yeah, so you think it's cool? You want to see like all the crazy stuff, because I feel like it's not documented enough, like the crazy stuff that happens in Arcane Odyssey. Like you really will only see it occasionally on the forum and a lot of the time on Reddit. So yeah, let's get into the video. So, getting right into it, we're not going to just be talking about the monsters that we know are going to be coming to the game. This is going to be a bit of speculation as well, as we're going to be looking at these monsters. I'll probably have representations of them up on the screen as go along, but we're going to be looking at these monsters. We're going to be trying to predict some things or features that they may have. As you know, some have like potion reagents. Maybe one will have one for maybe like a gem, like a special gem reagent, weapons, maybe even an armor set, things like that, right? That's the type of stuff that we're going to be trying to think about. We're going to think of basically everything. We're going to be going really in depth. So, starting it off, we're just going to go over the monsters that we already have in the game. So, immediately starting it off, obviously, we have sharks. Tiger sharks, great white shark, megalodon, lurker. So those are like the normal ones, you know, lurker spawning at whirlpools. Great whites basically just being rare ones. They target larger ships, as well as like great whites, tiger sharks, and stuff like that. You know, they drop like fins. You can, I don't think they really have a use right now that I remember, but you can sell them. You can also get their teeth, make blood potions, make stuff for your reagents and stuff. And lurkers they're just campers. They just camp whirlpools. Then we move on to the more aberrant tier of sea monsters, which, you know, as of right now is literally only poison jaws. It's really weak. You can probably kill it in like 5-4 hits, and it drops a poison fang, so you can make poison potions, and it drops a weapon, probably the best dagger weapon in the game. Realistically, I mean, it does poison on top of the damage it does, which already does the same damage over time, so it's like basically double damage in a way. Then after that we have Behemoth tier, which should be White Eyes and Obulus. White Eyes, by the way, you're able to make strength potions with his stuff. That's basically the only thing you can do with a White Eye scale. And with Obulus, he has a bit more things to him. Since, you know, he goes invisible and attacks you like that. Not that you can't literally see his lantern, but he does give you the ability to make like invisibility potions, and there was like something else, but I forget what it was. So, before we get into these planned sea monsters, I do want to take a point to go check out the Trello. Please check out the game's Trello. I've seen too many people write off this game just because of its early release. Look, you gotta understand something. It's an early release. It's not going to have everything it was intended to have. You should not judge a game based on the early release, which was, by the way, kind of begged by for the community and basically pressured for Vedex to put out anyways. So, I mean, you can really only blame yourselves. But, listen, check out the Trello, because that is where you will see all the things that they planned for this game. And these are devs that can do that. They can do it, okay? So you should expect all this stuff to come, because they have the skills to do it, and whenever they do it, they execute it beautifully. So, without wasting any more time, let's get into these planned sea monsters. We have Aberrant here, Sentinel, a short but fat red-colored jellyfish that slowly swims towards the player in an attempt to paralyze them. If stung, the jellyfish then begins flashing red and emitting an odd pulsing sound that attacks nearby sharks and sea monsters. Oh wait, I read that wrong. It attacks them, not attacks them. I was about to say, it's kind of weird, you know, the sea monster's helping you, but it brings them to your location. And until the jellyfish is killed, or the player's swimming out of range, this will continue to happen. Now, I think this is kind of interesting because, I mean, if you don't know, jellyfish, like the ones that you can destroy around diving spots, they can actually be used to get potion reagents, which are for like, brews. So, perhaps what we can see with this is better potions from the sentinels. Oh yeah, you're gonna notice I don't have any sprites for these. I think it's for a pretty obvious reason. Like, I don't know how they look. How am I gonna make a sprite for them? I literally have no idea how they look. So that's why most of this is just gonna be background gameplay. But going on to the next one, we have a mageel. Now, these are a large species of carnivorous eel, and they can actually use magic. Now, they're apparently pretty rare to find in normal seas, and they're around the size of like a poison jaws, but they, much like a poison jaws, will attack you relentlessly, even after it leaves the water. So, yeah, they can leave the water, they can jump out of the water. There's like those flying whales that you find around the ocean. Well, they can also fire blasts of magic. So, I mean, this is already sounding like it's going to be probably like the most annoying sea monster to deal with, but also one of like the coolest. 'Cause, I mean, come on. Monsters using magic, that's awesome. Okay, now, they're capable of using acid, water, light, or shadow magic, but it is unique to each mageel, so they cannot use multiple, they can only use one of each type. So with that already, if you're going to be hunting magels, you can kind of adjust your build to maybe fit or match which of the types you might be going after, right? And their scales would match the magic color, so it's obvious to identify. So I think what we could see here, we could possibly see accessories or some type of weapon or something. I think it's definitely going to be a reagent that could drop from this, possibly for jewel crafting and for potions. They might introduce even just like a new tier based off of this, or maybe alternate ways to make potions, because I mean, we're seeing here that you're capable of using acid, water, light, or shadow magic, but magic in general, you know? So it's likely that we can maybe collect their scales, possibly, or like their hearts or something, I don't know. Whatever the source of their magic is, or what has their magic within it, we will probably be able to use to make things. And it might even be possible for us to maybe get a tooth, depending on the size, because I mean, if they're as big as poison jaws, and we can get a dagger from poison jaws, I mean, why can't we get like a dagger from them, you know? That's just speculation, of course. So now we're actually going to be moving into the behemoth tier, which actually takes up the most of what the new monsters we're going to be seeing is. The first of which, to start this off, is the flame scale, which is described as an enormous eel with bright orange scales that emit intense heat, boiling the ocean around it. So already, we're probably going to be able to find it by like bubbles or steam leaving the ocean surface, which is actually what it says will be the way of identifying it. And the boiling also causes rough waves and tsunamis, so to fight this thing, you're going to have a decent boat that will not die to like rough waters and waves and stuff like that. It's basically going to be like spawning like a mini dark sea around it, sort of. Now, flame scale, apparently according to lore, is a rare species similar to white eyes, thought to be a rare form of mageel. However, it does not use magic itself. Swimming near a flame scale causes you to take damage over time, and sailing too far into its steam can also set your ship on fire with the intense heat. Now, this is really interesting because this gives a little bit more usage for like potions and stuff, right? In boat builds. I swear, like my voice cracked like a few times. I don't know if you heard that, but think about it, right? It's going to be creating all these hazards around it, so that already is going to be something to think about. If you get too close, you're gonna get burned, your ship's gonna get burned, you know, stuff like that. So water users are actually probably gonna have the best time against this because they could at least like cool themselves down, you know. Ice, snow, water. But I feel like the most interesting thing about this is that it's supposed to be like a white eyes. So yeah, that's really interesting. I hope that we can get this thing's like tooth as like a sword or something. Think about how cool that'd be, like a flame sword. That would be awesome. Now, it says that it might be combined with the arc turtle to make it and the arc turtle more interesting. So let's talk about the arc turtle real quick, which is actually not a dangerous one at all. In fact, they're probably the nicest sea monsters you're ever going to see, but I can't even really call them a monster. They're pretty nice. It's an enormous species of turtles, as you could guess, but it's hunted for its meat. It doesn't attack, but they're basically like living, breathing sacks of gold because they're worth a lot. So, what I'm assuming is going to be here is that your goal is going to be to go after these Arc Turtles to get them to sell for lots and get a ton of galleons, fund your ship, fund your clans, fund your buildings, which is going to be coming in the upcoming Empire update, which is in just a few days. But it's going to make sense because it's not like you want this thing to just be floating around anywhere where it's just up for grabs, Putting the flame scale there, it gives hazard to the area, so it makes it dangerous to just go after the Arc Turtle. And it's kind of force you to fight the flame scale if you want to be able to get there safely. So that's actually a really good idea, and I do hope to see that when it comes out. Now, up next we have the Ironclad, which is a large whale deeply irradiated with metal magic, and its scales and blubber, well, they're the same thing. Yeah, its blubber turned into metal, so it has scales now. It's that Ironclad, But it's gonna just do basic whale stuff. It's just gonna ram your ship with its head. That's literally all it's gonna do. It's just a tanky juggernaut whale. It's not really anything too crazy, anything too special. Probably easy to avoid. But its blubber probably gives some pretty crazy things. And you can probably unlock a new tier of like gel magic, I'd assume. Hopefully it drops some sort of armor. I don't know. It'd be kind of cool to see like a crafting system in the future where you can like craft armor. Because this could actually be really cool to like craft armor from these sea monsters, but that's for another video. Now, following that up, we have the Scout Claw, which is probably my favorite of everything on this list. It definitely sounds the coolest, but it's a large crab with molten lava scales that burn underwater and emit a stream of bubbles, which can disrupt anything swimming above or around it. So already more hazards, and it's going to be more of an underwater fight. So like, how with like most of these guys, you can fight them from your boat. That will not be the case for this guy. You will have to go under the water because guess what? It roams the bottom of the sea near shipwrecks and near islands and caves. So yeah, it's going to be really cool. It's going to give more use to breathing potions as well and things of that sort. Also probably going to give more use to like shark repel because honestly, shark repel doesn't really have a big use. Sharks are pretty easy to kill, but I can see how it'd be really annoying for this. So, now coming in for the last spot of the behemoths for the planned sea monsters is the Kraken. Not to be confused with the dude that was in Arcane Adventures. This is the animal, not the dude, not the guy who's like a ex-marine. But it's an enormous red squid that is larger than white eyes. It will attack any ship it sees, and it will hold onto it and destroy it until it is done and dead. And it will deal damage over time, so it's not like it's gonna one-shot you or anything, which, expected. But it will attack underwater as well, and it'll blind you using ink. And then it'll eat you. So, pretty scary, big eel. If you ever played GPO, you've probably seen the Krakens there. But, yeah, I mean, you're going to be good as long as you don't get close to it. But if you get close to it, you better hope you have like a party with you, or that you can solo. Now, it's time to go over the Dark Sea onlys that are planned, and this introduces an entire new tier, Abyssal. So, let's talk about the first one, which, sorry if I pronounce this wrong, but Hagifa, or Hagifa, either one. It's an enormous black whale whose blubber is said to shine like gold. It would fire colossal geysers of water above it, capable of causing tsunamis and rough waters, as well as ripping ships apart if directly hit. So already it sounds like it has a one-shot ability for ships, or it's just like you're gonna need a super beefed up ship in order to survive this thing's hits, right? Now, one thing that kind of confused me is the rough seas. Like, isn't the Dark Sea already kind of just a big rough seas? Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe it's like means like whirlpools or something. I don't know. Maybe it spawns more lightning. I don't really get that part. But the blubber, once again, the blubber. Maybe another tier of potions right there for the gel and stuff. Hey, maybe you could make like a sticky potion. That'd be so busted, wouldn't it? Like, you can make a potion that, like, makes people get forced to the ground. Like, they get stuck, they can't move. That'd be awesome. But, I mean, obviously it's going to sell for a lot, too. I don't know what else we could possibly get from this. But, I mean, obviously the blubber is a very big part of this. Now, going on to the last one, probably the most exciting one, Kahunawa. An ancient and war-torn alpha white eyes that has lived for an untold amount of time, with legends dating back hundreds of years. With time, it has grown slightly larger than its young counterpart, but has left its eyes tinged a deep red and its scales black and scarred, with weapons of every era lodged in its body, a show of its many years of life. Now, that's just awesome, okay? I don't know what you could get from this, but I would assume maybe you could get, like, this random stuff, man. I feel like you could just get random stuff from this. I feel like you could get armor sets, you could get weapons and stuff, because, look, big important part here, scarred with weapons of every era. It's been in fights with multiple different people, clearly. Different ships, different crews, all that. Legendary warriors probably even. So, if it swallows them, maybe when we kill it, we can get some of that armor that's inside of it, with like a drop chance or something. And then there's like the obvious stuff, like maybe its teeth, its fins, its scales, and we can get its eyes, you know? But it definitely sounds like, to this point, the most powerful of all of the sea monsters, which, I mean, it makes sense. It's basically the alpha white eyes of alpha white eyes, like the super alpha, you know? The sigma. The sigma white eyes. Now, the last thing I want to go over here is actually dragons, right? Even though they're not explicitly sea monsters, because they're not native to the sea, they're still monsters and like wild boss things that you can just find out in the wild, right? So, I mean, it falls into that same category anyways. So, they have plans, actually, for them to be like raids and stuff like that, where you can either fight multiple dragons or there's going to be gigantic ones, right? Obviously, you're going to get rewards. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, they said something about maybe you'd even affecting the renown of the reputation of some islands, and that some things on the island might change depending on if the dragon wins or if nobody's there to defend it or something like that. I forget. I could just be making that up. I don't remember. I do know they did say that there'd be dark sea dragons as well, so I mean, dark seas, probably gonna be terrifying. But I think the most important thing here is I've heard somewhere where they might be introducing dragon blood as like a potential power-up option in the game. So I don't know how that's gonna work, because I mean, like, it's gonna be a rare chance at the end of every raid. I'd assume so. I'd assume that dark sea dragons are probably gonna give better dragon blood. But yeah, that's it. That's really it. That's the whole video. Actually, like, thank you so much for making it to the end of this video and watching all the way to here. Look, we have big plans. 27th of September, update is coming out. Empire. We're going to be doing crazy stuff, okay? Join us. Join Camelot. Camelot will be in the description. Join the server. Join the clan. We have very big plans. It is a warrior clan, but it's going to be expanding to spirit weapon users also when the update for that drops. So yeah, I'll see you there. Sign time out.